Euro 2028 is coming to the UK and Ireland, but here's the shocking truth. Some of the world's most iconic stadiums won't see a single match. We're talking about legendary grounds like Old Trafford, Anfield, Emirates Stadium, and Stamford Bridge. Venues that have witnessed football history for over a century. Out of 14 initially shortlisted stadiums, only 10 made the final cut. Some giants got rejected, others simply weren't selected despite their massive capacity and world-class facilities. UEFA had to make brutal decisions. Pitch dimensions that are just 4 meters too short, crumbling infrastructure, and safety concerns all played their part. So why did UEFA say no to these football cathedrals? What went so wrong that stadiums costing hundreds of millions couldn't make the grade? Let's uncover the real reasons behind Euro 2028's most controversial exclusions. Old Trafford, the theater of dreams, became Euro 2028's biggest nightmare. With a capacity of 74,310, this Manchester United fortress should have been a guaranteed host venue, but shocking infrastructure decay sealed its fate. The stadium's rejection centers on Manchester United's inability to guarantee availability due to potential redevelopment. Built in 1910 for £60,000, Old Trafford once held 100,000 spectators, but decades of Glazer family neglect left it crumbling. The roof leaks so badly that fans get drenched during matches, with rainwater pouring from above like waterfalls. Gary Neville brutally exposed the truth. United's home went from being one of the best stadiums in the world to one that can't even get into the top 10 in the UK. Rodent sightings and crumbling facilities made international headlines, an embarrassing state for one of football's most iconic venues. In April 2023, Manchester United officially withdrew from the Euro 2028 shortlist, citing the inability to provide necessary certainty around availability due to redevelopment talks. It was a damning reflection of years of underinvestment. While rivals modernized, Old Trafford stagnated. The last major expansion came in 2006, adding 8,000 seats, but essential maintenance was ignored. The decline became so severe that hosting Europe's biggest tournament was no longer possible. Now United plans a £2 billion replacement stadium designed by Foster Plus Partners, targeting 100,000 capacity by 2030. The new venue will be Europe's second largest football stadium, but for Euro 2028, the Theatre of Dreams remains empty, a victim of owners who prioritize profits over proper maintenance, leaving fans and UEFA alike abandoned. Anfield's Euro 2028 rejection is football's most bizarre technicality. Rejected for being exactly 4 meters too short, UEFA requires pitches measuring 105 meters by 68 meters, but Anfield's dimensions are only 101 meters by 68 meters, a tiny difference that kept Liverpool's cathedral out of major tournaments since 2006. The rejection wasn't about quality or atmosphere. Anfield is legendary worldwide. The issue is purely technical. Stands built so close to the pitch that extension is physically impossible. This proximity creates the intimidating atmosphere that Pep Guardiola called magnificent, but UEFA's rigid regulations trumped football heritage. As a result, Everton's new stadium will represent Liverpool, replacing Anfield as Merseyside's Euro 2028 venue. The Bramley Moore Dock Stadium meets UEFA's Category 4 requirements and pitch dimensions, making it eligible while Anfield remains excluded. It's a bitter irony. The soulless new build gets chosen over one of football's most atmospheric venues. Liverpool considered pitch alterations during the recent Anfield Road expansion, but the required changes to lower stands and access tunnels were too costly and disruptive. The club shelved the idea. Because of this, Anfield isn't Category 4 certified and can't host UEFA finals either. In a cruel twist, the very design that forged Liverpool's European dominance now locks it out of the continent's biggest tournament. The newly expanded capacity of 61,276 only adds salt to the wound. Fans argue that history and atmosphere should count more than measurements. But in UEFA's rulebook, 4 meters was all it took to sideline one of football's greatest venues. Arsenal's Emirates Stadium shocked the football world by declining to host Euro 2028 games, prioritizing club interests over UEFA's tournament plans. The 60,704 capacity venue voluntarily removed itself from consideration, choosing expansion plans over international prestige. The FA invited Arsenal to join the bid, but the club declined, preferring to keep the venue free for summer events and avoid external constraints that could delay infrastructure projects. Co-chairman Josh Kroenke confirmed that internal conversations are starting to occur around expansion. The rejection relates to complex expansion plans targeting completion by 2028. Arsenal requires approval from Islington Council and Transport for London, particularly concerning Holloway Road Underground Station improvements. The expansion would require extending nearby tube infrastructure to handle increased matchday traffic, a massive logistical challenge. London was limited to 2 venues, with Tottenham's superior modern facilities chosen alongside Wembley. The Emirates, despite its quality, lost out to Spurs' cutting-edge stadium design and better transport links. Arsenal's voluntary withdrawal made UEFA's decision easier, eliminating a potential North London rivalry over hosting rights. The move reflects long-term thinking. By 2028, Arsenal aims to complete expansion plans that could increase capacity to 80,000, rivaling Europe's largest venues. In the meantime, the Emirates will continue to host world-class concerts and pursue architectural modernization, proving that sometimes the biggest wins come from knowing when not to compete. Sunderland's Stadium of Light represents regional politics and capacity constraints, costing a quality venue its Euro 2028 opportunity. The 49,000 capacity stadium made the initial 14 venue shortlist, but couldn't survive the final cut despite superior facilities and infrastructure. Only 10 stadiums were selected from the original 14, creating intense competition. The Stadium of Light fell victim to numbers game, with higher capacity venues prioritized. UEFA's selection criteria favored stadiums exceeding 50,000 capacity, putting Sunderland at a disadvantage despite meeting all technical requirements. Proximity to Newcastle created regional selection issues. UEFA organizers chose not to select 2 stadiums in the same area, prioritizing geographical distribution across England. St. James's Park's 52,305 capacity and established Premier League status gave Newcastle the edge over Sunderland's slightly smaller venue. The decision sparked controversy given the Stadium of Light's superior facilities. Built in 1997 for £23 million on the site of Monkwearmouth Colliery, the venue features modern infrastructure, unobstructed views, and world-class training facilities. The Academy of Light, costing additional £10 million, ranks among Europe's finest youth development centers. Transport links favored Sunderland over Newcastle. The Stadium of Light offers easier access via the A1 and better parking facilities, while St. James Park sits in Newcastle city centre with constrained transport options. Regional rivalries may have influenced the decision. The Northeast's fierce football tribalism meant selecting both venues was impossible, forcing UEFA to choose. Newcastle's larger capacity, Premier League status, and higher profile ultimately secured their selection, leaving Sunderland's excellent facilities unused. Stamford Bridge fell victim to the same UEFA regulation that excluded Anfield, pitch dimensions falling short of the mandatory 105 meters by 68 meters requirement. Chelsea's historic home, with 40,341 capacity, joins Liverpool in the technical rejection category despite its rich football heritage. Like Anfield, Stamford Bridge's pitch measures approximately 103 meters in length, falling short of UEFA's standardized dimensions. The stadium's intimate design, with stands built close to the pitch, makes extension impossible without massive reconstruction. This proximity creates atmosphere, but violates modern tournament regulations. Chelsea's pitch width meets UEFA requirements at 68 meters, but the length shortfall proved decisive. The same regulations that apply to Champions League and Europa League finals excluded Stamford Bridge from Euro 2028 consideration. UEFA's standardization trumped the stadium's 110-year history and legendary status. The rejection reflects broader stadium age issues. Opened in 1905, Stamford Bridge predates modern pitch dimension standards. The ground was originally an athletics track with the football pitch in the center, creating unusual dimensions that persist today. Multiple renovations couldn't address fundamental layout constraints. Chelsea explores new stadium options, partly due to these limitations. Current expansion plans face major obstacles, including acquiring surrounding properties and maintaining the club's geographic identity. The constraints that create Stamford Bridge's unique character simultaneously limit its modern tournament hosting potential. Space around the ground is scarce, and the surrounding land is tied up in complex ownership. Extending the pitch or expanding the stadium without major disruption is practically impossible. Stamford Bridge's exclusion alongside Anfield highlights UEFA's inflexible approach to stadium standards. Two of England's most atmospheric and historically significant venues miss out on purely technical grounds, demonstrating how modern regulations prioritize standardization over football heritage and character. These were 5 Premier League stadiums left out of Euro 2028, proof that prestige alone isn't enough. Do you think these iconic stadiums deserved a place in Euro 2028? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating content about football stadiums.